baby.
Fiend
Sometimes.
of the Dr. Pepper. Here we go. Rev it up.
Rev it up, baby. Yo, good morning and welcome to another episode of the Road FS podcast. The podcast designed to help you grow your business. Every week we bring some amazing guests from industry leaders to suppliers, vendors, business owners, all with the purpose of helping you grow.
And you get those guys, but you have to suffer through me and Jody as well.
Yeah.
So, other than that, and then you should have, if you got did you see the picture? Did you understand what I meant when I said that Sheldon was like Pitbull's twin brother with those sunglasses on, man? If you had a suit jacket on, you are like
baby.
Nationwide, brother.
That's actually what I did for Halloween this year, funny enough. So.
Yeah.
Did you really see?
Yeah, he's got a similar facial structure. You put those sunglasses on, he's the man.
So I want to see if you can pop and lock and wrap all at the same time.
No, not at all, actually.
The pop and lock should be illegal after you're like 14.
Oh, give me a break, man. Just because you're old.
I mean, this is an early podcast, so I haven't been drinking yet, but catch me in the afternoon. Who knows?
There you go. Well, good morning, man, dude. We've been wanting to get together. We know that last week you kind of had a wrap up with the IDA leadership about Mobile Tech Expo. And dudes, if you didn't make it to Mobile Tech Expo, you missed a great event. Dude, I was just amazed at how crowded it was. I mean, you guys leveled it up.
It was huge. Yeah, no doubt about it. I think we were up 11% overall, but it actually felt more than that, honestly. Just the amount of bodies that were on the show floor at one time. It seems like people stuck around a little bit longer than they normally do.
Yeah.
So there was a ton of good networking and interactions and, shopping. I saw people walking out, with just tools in hand like this. So it seemed like everyone was very happy.
Yeah, so I saw a question. I'm going to throw a question out there to start with. I saw a question online yesterday, and I didn't know how to answer it because somebody said, why is it that the PDR guys can sell tools, but the detailing guys are told they can't sell chemicals?
Anyone at Mobile Tech can sell anything they like. So even though we are a trade show, we don't have those restrictions like SEMA does. So any booth can sell whatever items, swag, t-shirts, giveaways, raffles, anything. The one little catch there is you technically do have to pay taxes to the state of Florida.
Oh yeah, so absolutely. And everybody
that's out of my thing. That's all between you and the government, but technically you do have to pay taxes.
All right. Well, that answers that question. So it's a myth. It's a myth that you can't sell stuff, because I tried to sell Jody twice, but nobody would buy them.
Yeah, but that's a different issue. I mean, a hot product versus a dead product. I mean, people aren't going there, man. I mean, my wife can't even get rid of me.
Who wants a crusty old dude? So,
yeah, but I'm the only crusty old dude in this room that can pop and lock.
No, I don't. No, not true. So
I guarantee it.
Let's talk about some numbers, Sheldon. 11% up. Do you have numbers of attendees? Do you have those numbers at all?
Yep. So that puts us at about 4,500 ish, which, last year we were just over the 4,000 mark. So that also includes exhibitors, though. It's kind of hard for me to track
for sure. But still 4,500 people. I mean, when you look at that and you say that most, and I say that because there are some people in there that like do paint and very specific things, but most of the people in that hall, if you're a vendor, are your potential customer. And so you're literally getting put in front of up to, let's say it's 4,000 potential customers. That's phenomenal. And I think that's why, to me, one of the reasons that I think Mobile Tech Expo is kind of, in the detailing industry anyway, everybody, when they say, well, what event should we go to? Should we go to SEMA? Should we go to Mobile Tech? Mobile Tech is kind of the de facto standard.
Yeah, it's very personalized compared to SEMA. SEMA is a beast. I love the show for what it is, but there's so many people there. It's hard to get any real one-on-one time with anybody. And, there's also a lot of people that are just tire kickers coming to look at the cars. So you never really know who's coming in your booth. Whereas at Mobile Tech, even if it's a dent guy, you have a potential customer in front of you.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's one thing that I think a lot of people struggle with about Mobile Tech Expo, and that is Education Day. Because Education Day has grown into this huge behemoth. There are so many opportunities. There's so many parallel education events going on The challenge is how do I clone myself?
Yeah.
And go to all of them, because I mean, a lot of times there were ones at the exact same time, and I'm like, well, I want to go there, but I need to be here. And I mean, how are you guys going to address that? Because it's really grown.
It has, and that's honestly the number one thing on my team's mind right now. We have our big show wrap up tomorrow, and that is the number one item: is how do we deal with having these behemoth sessions that are fantastic in parallel. So, I mean, really, the short answer is we're probably going to have repeats on a different day. I don't know what day that's going to be yet, because we've tried to do education during the show Fridays, Saturdays, and we could have the best speaker in the world there, and they'll get like 4 people. Because people are busy. You forget, you're like, oh, I'm going to go to that. And then you get busy talking to someone on the show floor. And so it might be before the show opens, which we've tried also. Then everyone's hungover and doesn't make it. But, we introduced the 101 programs this year on Wednesday, and, very successful. I wanted 50 people. We ended up getting about 75. So
Wow.
we are going to start growing that Wednesday program some.
So have you guys thought about having like a sign up, like a pre-sign up at the beginning, like literally, because some of those rooms, as I know you're well versed in all this stuff, but other people probably don't know that those rooms have a fire code. You can only put so many people in a room, and so it'd be one of those things where it's it's limited seating, and then you've got at that point it's full. You can't sign up for this one anymore. You have to wait till the next session, or that way we can figure out who can go next. It's always you have no idea. I mean, sometimes we have a session and there's 45 or 50 people in it. Other times we've had it where I'm like, Jody, there's people standing at the back of the room. I mean, this is crazy. So
yeah, it was interesting. This is the first year in our registration process we asked which sessions you wanted to go to. And it was more of an info for us to see if it matched what happened on site. Yeah. And it didn't at all.
No,
people said everyone's gonna go to this, so we were panicked, and that room was half full, while another one that was supposed to be not excited was overflowing. So people changed their mind.
It's crazy because Dustin and our session on technology, which was the premiere session, just so you know, so many people. Well, first off, there was a miscommunication from our end, from the IDA, from the detailing world. We put in for it in May. They didn't tell us we had a session until
2 days before
MTE. Well, it's actually about a week. So anyway,
it felt like 2 days because I was doing the PowerPoint.
We didn't feel like we were prepared, even though we killed it. But you guys killed. I think the key there for us is we have to have that information on our end first, so that then we can kind of advertise and get people to go to the shows to the training event. And people were asking us beforehand what the events were going to be. So I know from our end, from the detailing world, we need to project that out sooner, that this is going to be an education day, who is going to be there, to get people excited about it. Because so many times I was blown away. This facility, the hallways are wider for anybody that's listening, watching, that hasn't been there. The hallways are a lot wider. It was packed. There were people lining up 15 minutes before a education session to get in. And it wasn't just the ones that are going to be full. I mean, if you got a Justin Lobato or a
Jason Rose,
Mike Phillips, they're going to be packed. Everybody knows that. But there were people going into stuff that it was crazy. So how many total education sessions did you guys open it up to? Because it seemed like there was a lot more.
I want to say we had 7 concurrent sessions going, and we have 5 slots throughout, 4 in the morning. I don't know. There's a lot. There's more than you could see, because we added the whole just in Spanish track this year, which did pretty well. Unfortunately, I was going to use a company to actually live translate a couple other sessions. There would be a screen that had this, Spanish up. They went out of business in January, so that was fun for me.
Nice. Oh, that's
you should ask Jody. He can do it.
Just translate. So, that is one of my biggest priorities for next year, is make sure we have more translation stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Gaylord gave us a lot of rooms this year, and we filled them, and we had more education people sign up than ever.
Yeah.
So, I was afraid we were going to run out of lunches, but we got through.
Oh yeah. Well,
lunch.
There
was lunch.
There was lunch.
I didn't get lunch.
For me, I only had 2 complaints. You and I talked about one of them at the show, and that's more of just a personal thing. But the other one, the only other issue that I saw was the internet. The facility's great. There's restaurants on site that were good. The outside event that you guys had, that
was nice.
The outside, the Mobile Tech Expo meet and greet, and where you did your awards, I'm going to tell you, it was the best I've ever seen it, other than the sound. Other than that, if the speaker would have been up at the front, but it was the best. There were more people, and they, like you said, they hung around. It wasn't like people just left. They hung around. They were enjoying themselves. They were just hanging out on the grass. I mean, it was a really good event. So, like I said, other than the internet, that facility's great. There's plenty of room to go do breakouts and do other things, and yeah, it's.
Yep. And there was, some of the lines for registration we're going to work on next year. The exhibit hall, we're still at the Gaylord next year, but the exhibit hall is actually closer to where the education was. It's the closest halls to where the education was. So we have a couple new things we can work with to hopefully deal with the reg lines and stuff like that. But yeah, the internet's a beast because they want to charge, I think it was $18,000 for a 5 meg hard line.
Are you freaking kidding me?
No. So I'm working on it. It's rough.
Yeah. Well, and
usually we have our usually we have our own secret weapon, but Jody left part of it in the office.
And we've actually you know how that is. That's always at those shows. The one year you had to bail us out of the internet issue. So the next question I guess everybody always has is the contrast between, oh my gosh, they always do it in Florida, they're going to do it somewhere else. And I think it's important to get people to understand, we weren't aware of this until we worked with you and your team for the Southern Detailers Conference, of how much negotiation and how much pressure is put on you as a team to schedule and lock it in for the next how many years, and I don't think people realize that it's not as easy as just calling them and going, hey, we have an event in June. Because guess what? June's already booked, and June's already booked for next year. So you got to go a couple of years in advance. And I think that's one of the things I'd like people to understand about it is that, you guys have a really rough job, and you do it well. Like when the first year we helped Daryl and we did the Southern Detailers Conference, we just kind of walked in and we're like, yeah, we want to do that. Do you guys want meals? Yeah, we want that. We want this. You showed up the next year and you had like this binder with all these questions. And I was like, okay, we're idiots. We have no idea what we're doing. Because you know the answers, the questions to ask, right? I mean,
yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot that goes into planning. And that's honestly why I love these pop-up events that are happening all over the country at detailer shops. And instead of the Southern Detailers Conference model, MTE is going to try to look to support those more and see if we can handle some of those logistics that, you might be really good at running a shop, but you want to have a little get together, we can help with the registration. So I think there's ways we can work together on some of those and not have just one event, but have lots around the country.
Yeah.
Because
I like that from the perspective of one of the complaints a lot of people have about Mobile Tech Expo is it's always in Florida, right? And so the people in California, Arizona, Texas, they're like, do I want to go to Florida, right? And so I think, having these pop-up events is a great way to extend the reach and provide educational opportunities and networking opportunities that weren't there before.
Yeah, because we did the MTE Vegas a couple of years back. And really, most of the detailing community told us, we have SEMA, we don't need something over here.
Yeah.
So we kind of took that, and then Southern Detailers Conference came along, and that kind of lost support. So we're going to look at just, kind of bouncing around the country with where we can support little pop-ups and see where that leads us.
I think the challenge with MTE Vegas was it was mid-August, right? And people are like, whoa, SEMA's just around the corner, right? Versus I think if it would have been in March, it would have been a lot more receptive, right?
Yeah, I think you're correct. And it's just hard with the MTE brand. I have to represent both sides and all the auto recon. And then, the PDR side couldn't do it in March, and it's hard to find that balance. That's why I branched off the PDR show, PDR Expo in Vegas in September. Just PDR only, didn't have to deal with representing the MTE brand correctly. And I thought that and SDC could kind of be, the co-independent shows and MTE be the together, but with SDC kind of falling out, we'll see where the future leads us there.
Yeah, and I think the challenge with any other show is the reason that Mobile Tech Expo works, regardless of where you have it. Mobile Tech Expo works because it's at the end of January, and it's the slow season for detailers and
for everybody.
And for everybody. It's not hail season. It's not anything going on that way. And so people can actually shut their shops down and afford to go to do that. Whereas any show, doesn't matter where you put it, you do it in June, it's busy season. Nobody can shut their shop down for a week and go do that. So I think that's the biggest challenge. I mean, if you could wave your magic wand, and if facilities were not an issue, which they are a huge issue, but if they weren't an issue, you could probably do it like, Florida, California, and switch years. But what you'd end up doing, just so everybody knows, because of the way you have to book it, you'd have to go Florida 2 years. Then you'd have to already pre-book California for 2 years. And then you would already have to have your spot held for the next 2 years. So you'd be planning 2, 4, 6 years in advance of where you have these shows. And in some cases, like I know for a fact, because I was there when we did it, we had to, good morning, Mr. Hutchins from over in the UK. We had to cut a $40,000 check to hold the facility. When we planned it out, the event wasn't until June. It was January. I need 40 grand before anybody signed up. And
Sheldon's got that.
Sheldon knows that. I mean, he's like a singer on the side, Pitbull. So
I mean, so like on the for MTE Orlando, we're at the Gaylord one year. I've already contracted the Rosen again for 3 years after that, and of course, already had to pay a deposit on it. Right? But they were telling me they were going to give up the dates if I didn't do it, last year.
Yeah, and that's what I don't think people understand is you guys are outlaying the cash ahead of time, and so it's hard. We just did one. When was the meet and greet that we did with IDA? December or no?
That was in December.
So in December we had a little what you're calling pop up. The IDA calls them an IDA meet and greet, and we had an event here.
Shop crawl. It was awesome.
Shop crawl. It was the largest meet and greet the IDA has ever had, and it was primarily because of one detailer here in town, Steve Thompson from the Detail Doctor,
and Sydney Bragwin.
And they literally were calling people to get them to come, and so I think that is
Steve's a calling machine, man.
He is. But that's what it takes. Is it takes a lot of work. And you guys, so how big is your team?
We have about 25 in-house now, including our customer service team.
Wow, that's a lot. More than you see.
Oh yeah, because remember we do MTE the week before, 2 weeks before that, we're all on site in Vegas for a 60,000 person show. And then right after MTE, I flew to Nashville for another 50,000 person show. So there's a lot of moving pieces for us in that January, February time. So we have people kind of in charge of different areas, but some of us, like myself, are there for all of them. Yeah,
you're everywhere. Well, and I think that is, kind of, I'm going to go into this area. We had a big major event happen while we were at MTE this year. And, everybody was really pulling for Kevin to make through, and he was able to be there. You guys presented him with
Randy Hobson received the Lifetime Achievement Award for Kevin Halewood.
And then Kevin passed away shortly after that. But I think that the thing is MTE is really, it's Kevin's legacy. And I think it's because of the vision he had to start it and do it where he did and when he did, to bring all these people together. And, there are people that I see at the event that first time I saw them was in 2008, and they're still going because it's different every year. There's always something new. You always run into somebody, and so I think that's the power of it, is that and I've been to some of these virtual events in 2020. SEMA tried a virtual event that was just a complete mess. The only one I've seen that actually works is
TRCMA, baby.
Here in town.
Hit it out of the park.
Does one in March, and it is called TRCMA. And it is fantastic the way they do it. because they don't do it like a virtual trade show where you go in and you click here and you click there. They literally have live presentations that are anywhere from 15 to 45 minutes. And people can go and do those. And I'm wondering, one of the things I thought of for MTE is to video some of the trainings and then run them on the floor somewhere. You know, we have a TV that we always bring, or you could run them on the floor while it's going on. And that's maybe another way people could get their message out. If you've got a training event, is to actually have somebody video it and then put it out. We did that with ours, with the one that Dustin was in, and we did the one, the event.
IDA Gala. Yes.
Yeah, the IDA Gala event.
Yep, that's been on my radar too, to possibly film all the sessions. And if you buy an Education Day ticket, you get like a password protected access to them. I know it's not the same at the end of the day as being there, but that we're looking at that and maybe live streaming some select few. For those that don't attend Education Day and think they do know everything, it'd be great for them to see some of this amazing content that they're missing.
Yeah. And I think that's, in fact, you know, obviously for marketing reasons, that's a great thing to do, is just, you know, show some of the education sessions. Some of them are so informative that, yeah, they really should be captured and put out there somewhere. So the facility, that place is huge. I mean, you got alligators, you got restaurants. There's, you know, Jody had his legs waxed while we were there. I mean, it's just, that's private.
Did you guys eat at any of the nice restaurants there?
Oh yeah,
yeah. We ate at the sports bar. It was pretty good.
We ate at the sports bar and some stuff. Yeah, I mean, I don't miss many meals if you haven't noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rutgers was good. You know, they closed that down at 2:00 for us, and that was last call. But people hung out there all night.
Yeah, Richard.
Yeah, and I love Richard's comment. Right, I think this was the first year that he offered leather repair training at Mobile Tech Expo, and they had 54 people in their training session. And I mean, if you guys don't know Richard, you got to go connect with him. In fact, he's coming to Boise April 16th through the 18th. There's going to be a leather repair company training at the Detail Doctors. We're really excited to be a part of that. So it's going to be a 3-day event. We'll be broadcasting live. So if you're local, Treasure Valley, Idaho, Utah, Washington, Oregon, Montana, you should get signed up, because it's going to be a really, really good event. And you know who's getting prepared for it is little Steve. By the way, happy birthday,
little Steve.
Kid.
Yeah, the youngest certified skills validated detailer in the world.
The guy is already watching videos. 13
years old,
baby.
He's 13 years old.
He wants to drive Rod's Porsche.
I'm going to teach him how to drive a stick shift with my Porsche. So we're gonna go do that. He'll learn how to drive.
Yeah,
it's you know what? He's a good kid.
It's just a car, man. He'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So it's Rod's dream car, but I say
it's one of them.
just a
It's
car.
one of them. I have lots of dreams. So Sheldon, is there anything new going to happen next year, or are you kind of holding that off?
Still sort of evaluating that. So like I said, I have my big meeting with my team tomorrow to kind of wrap everything up, figure out where we're going to put marketing efforts and operational efforts, and really just talk through what worked, what didn't work. We go through this with, you know, all our shows that we do. Yeah. But some of the main things, like I said, try to build up that one-on-one education on Wednesday, try to get newer people into the industry out to the show. And one of the things that absolutely kills us on our marketing side is Mobile Tech Expo as a name is just miserable for SEO, because we're getting all the wrong like ad stuff. So we're really working on that MTE rebrand that we've been doing. You'll start seeing some new graphics from us. But we're just trying to introduce new people that don't know about the show, or just really want to find out what this industry is all about, and get them the education that they need to get started and, you know, build a business plan, like the really fundamental items, not just straight into how to like paint correct, all that thing.
Right.
So,
you know, I appreciate that, because I was actually at Steve Thompson's shop about a week ago, and he had a book of all of the detailers in Utah, Idaho, Montana. And I think a lot of times we, especially as vendors, we think the world is everybody encapsulated at Mobile Tech Expo or in this little community, when there are so many businesses out there that are a part of the industry, but they're not, they're not involved in the way that we are, right? So I appreciate that you guys are trying to figure out how to bring those individuals into the group, but it also really made me mindful of, you know, Mobile Tech Expo, as powerful as it is, and the legacy that Kevin Halewood created, it's just really a microspec in the bigger scheme of things, right? And I love kind of the evolution of trying to extend the industry when it comes to, like, you guys are adding the Wednesday 101 days. You got Recon Rally and Randy Hobson and his team creating the Keeping It Real Fishing Derby, trying to, blend the automotive recon, PDR, detailing guys, right? Because there really is a lot of overlaps in a lot of these industries, and either bringing that into your business is a strategic decision, or collaborating with other people that are like-minded that you can work with and send work back and forth. There's a lot of ways to intermingle this. And I really see that being accomplished in Mobile Tech Expo.
Yeah, and I really do love that about the show. And I guess one of the other new thing, not really new, but one of the things we're going to strive to do is take some of that SDC model where it was true hands-on training on real cars and somehow incorporate that in. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like yet, if that's during education day, if it's a separate day, if it's on show floor type thing. But that was really what made SDC special, was getting, some of these amazing instructors, small group, hands-on, actually getting polisher in your hand. So we want to make sure we do something like that. Just don't know exactly what it looks like yet.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is my I didn't even tell Jody. I don't actually tell him anything I'm going to say
No,
online. In fact, most of the time, just so you're all aware, when you hear it, I hear it. It comes out, and then I hear it. So anyway, one of the things that I actually miss about Mobile Tech Expo, and not many of you might not remember this, but in the early days of Mobile Tech Expo, there used to be a car show that happened at the same time. Out back, you would go out, there was a big tent, and then out back there was a car show, and people would have these booths and everything. And that's just a personal thing. I really enjoyed that part of it, because I think it gave people the ability to go and walk around, right? And not that being in the show you're not walking around, but then they would go out back and they would go do that, and maybe some people go have a smoke and they'd get something to eat and all that stuff. But it was kind of a I mean, it's kind of, I think, what Southern Detailers Conference, what Daryl tried to do, because he brought in a bunch of cars and everything. But at the, there's different ways over the years that Mobile Tech Expo has incorporated different things into it. And I love seeing I kind of enjoy going to different places all the time. We're all creatures of habit, but I enjoy seeing a different facility or whatever. But, you guys do a great job. I don't know if people tell you that enough, but you guys really do a good job. And we've had the privilege of being involved in it at the other end and seeing what you guys have to manage. And you guys handle the stress unbelievably well. So, we appreciate it. I know a lot of people that go to that show, all they want to do is complain about it. We've had our own personal complaints about stuff, but you guys really do a fabulous job of bringing everybody together. Wheels and the whole team,
up front, the dancing sales lady.
Yeah, the dancing sales.
With Nikki.
I think it was great. They've incorporated alcohol into the MTE now. So now she just goes around half crocked and sells stuff. It's great.
Yeah, that was my little mobile cart I built. I was really proud of that thing.
Yeah, we had our own mobile cart this year.
So thank you.
Bring me lights next year.
Yeah.
Well,
we have something every year.
This
year we had those funky jackets that we wore, and next year we've already got some stuff lined up. Organizing what Sheldon and his team do is truly epic. We can't thank them enough for what they're truly
awesome.
Yep.
Thank you, Richard. That means everything.
Yeah, well, dude, we want to thank you for doing a great show. I mean, I think a lot of times it is easy to look at the negative of something. Right. It's this wasn't right, or this location or whatever. It's easy to nitpick. But when you look at the overall thing that you guys brought to the table, it was worth every minute, every moment, every dime spent to be there, connecting with people, learning, sharing our software with people. It just was amazing. And I think we don't say that enough. I think a lot of times we get so busy. Oh, well, this didn't happen. That person did this and blah, blah, blah. Instead of going, dude, this was an awesome event.
Yeah.
I had a great experience. And a lot of it is because of your team, the preparation that you guys did. And I think you guys hit it out of the park. I mean, and I love that you're doing a post-mortem. All right. What went well, what went great, right? We have to do that ourselves, right? And being authentic with that and sharing that with everybody is important, right? Because people see the growth in you and your team.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to admit what didn't go well so you can work on it. And we're not going to just sugarcoat everything and say it was perfect. But one thing that I really did enjoy, we had a little bit of drama right before the show started, but everyone was pretty good on site. Everyone was just being very positive because of that.
Yeah, we had a couple of things that, in the detailing industry, we had a little bit of drama.
Yeah,
and we had some people that came over, and I'm so over dealing with it. And so when we had two people come up and ask us a question about one person, why do you guys have a problem? I immediately just went and found the guy, and I'm like, okay, we're getting this taken care of right now.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We don't have any idea what they're talking about. So if you guys think that we're, whatever, I mean,
yeah, I just want to create a great environment where everybody is growing. We all have a great experience. And I think Mobile Tech Expo, you guys create a great event to do that. It was really exciting to see, newer vendors. I mean, they're in the market, but people that I'd never talked to and met with, that was really fun. Like the Stinger Chemicals guy, Barrows. Sorry, I'm pulling a blank on his name, but it was great to sit down with Dan Barrows, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, they had a fabulous booth, and I loved his couches. The other thing, and this is just right now off the top of my head, because of all the drama that the automotive reconditioning industry has, and we all know that there's a lot of drama. I got an idea. Instead of setting up a podcast booth, we set up a boxing ring. And if you got a problem in the detailing industry,
in this corner,
you come in and you just that's the guy.
Throw
Me and him,
gloves.
we got a problem. Great. Sign right here.
Are
sign
we
this
doing
liability.
MMA? Are we doing MMA gloves?
Sign this
Little
liability
cage
right
match.
here. Go in the ring,
MTE
and you
cage
guys just
match.
beat the hell out of each other, and we'll ding the bell and have a referee.
And Rod and I will be the commentators.
That's it. I mean,
I love this idea.
I'll be the card girl. I'll show up with
No. You are not the card girl. You can be on the side.
So the point is that
we've seen that big
we
belly.
hear,
we're not going there.
We hear so many times about that. It's going to happen, and there's going to be this drama and that drama. Just show up with some boxing gloves. Let's take care of it. Don't care.
And that's the sad part is no one would take you up on it.
Oh. Yeah, I agree. No one would, but man, it would be even Nerf swords, anything. I don't care.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, pool noodles. Beat the hell out of each other with pool noodles.
Oh man, that's funny.
We could actually do grudge matches. You could do betting on the side. Come on,
yeah.
This is.
The
Road FS MTE SmackDown.
And we already got Dustin with the detail bookie. He'll be taking bets.
That's right. You guys can throw in who you think should be a grudge match. It'll be like
SmackDown 2025.
I love it. I think we should do it.
No. And I really love your positivity and the things that you and your team are trying to do for the industry. I mean, it's really what's needed. And in the end, we're all just trying to do good business. We're trying to grow. We're trying to support our families. And that's really what it's about. So, man, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Kudos to your entire team. We always love Steve. I mean, he's got such a great sense of humor, but I wish one time he'd just get off his ass and stand up and go to work.
Do some work.
Right. Just always sitting around all day.
Job and run people over.
He's fabulous.
He's
he does a great job at everything he does. The concern that the entire team has for the show. So, thank you guys again. And, hey, go out. I actually posted a comment.
And I love him, man.
Immediately went out and found where I could actually reserve. I've already reserved ours for next year. A lot of people have. Go out, put your deposit down, get your booth set up. It's still super affordable. Just contrast the cost of SEMA versus MTE.
Oh gosh.
You can go to MTE for like what, 20 years for the price of one SEMA. So anyway, if you haven't already done so, go out and do that, because MTE next year, I'd like to see it grow another 11% and be like 5 to 5,200 people. I was blown away by the just the sheer numbers. When the doors opened, we started timing it, and there were 3 of us in our booth, and we talked. Every one of us was talking to a client or a potential client for 4 hours straight. We did not stop talking to people for 4 hours. And we expect to be hoarse by the end of it, but not. It was crazy.
We were hoarse.
If you didn't go this year, you
That's
missed.
awesome. I love hearing that.
Yeah, it was great. Well, thank you so much, guys. If you have not gone to MTE, please go out, put it on your calendar, plan for next year. Do you guys have the dates for next year?
Yeah, they're on this. They're on a post that went out yesterday. I was
going to have him share it. So
we overlap end of January, early February this year. So it's like the 31st through the 2nd, or something like that.
That's awesome. So the very last weekend, essentially, of January moving into February. So go to your calendars, get it out, 2025, put it on, make sure you plan on going, make sure you drop by the Road FS booth, to connect with the 2 awesome but silly dudes. Yep. And thank you, Sheldon. I mean, it's great. So next week we have another amazing guest, and I guess until next week, you got anything else? All right. Well,
nope, got nothing.
Thank you guys very much. I always appreciate talking to you and having me on the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you so much. And we will check you guys
We'll see you guys later.
So see ya.